What's good, everybody? It's your boy AngelX24X, and I want to make this video about ranked play. Okay, and I want you guys to. I want to go over why ranked play is flawed, and there's a big reason why I don't play ranked play, and I want to explain it. And I want to show you guys the visuals of what I'm talking about because a lot of people will come on and complain about smurfing or they'll complain about the SR. And there is a very easy answer to solving this problem, and I want to get into it. But first, go ahead, hit that like button, leave a comment on below on what you think about ranked, and hit that subscribe button. It's free. Now let's get straight into it. So, first game we're gonna go over, all right, before I tell you guys what I'm talking about, right, is Call of Duty, right? You got you got all these different. You got gold, platinum, diamond, crimson, iridescent, top 150, and then obviously number one. Okay, in principle, I get it, right? You hop on, you start playing, you're no ranked, you're zero, you earn SR or whatever, and then you become ranked, gold, okay? Then, you look at like how like so then how they earn it, right? Progress through ranks by earning SR by winning ranked play matches. SR is awarded after each ranked play win, and the amount earned is determined the player's distance away from their projected rank. Their match performance and majority of victory SR is deducted after losses. Okay, let me explain why I have an issue with this. Let's say I'm zero rank. I have a really good game. I get bumped up to gold. What if I'm not as good as gold players? They're gonna poop on me, and I'm not gonna gain SR, and I'm gonna go back to being zero rank again. That's not fun. That's not fun. And I know some of y'all are gonna go into the comments. You're gonna be like, "Oh, but that's the grind of getting better." It's like, no, it's not. I did well. I got put up against better players, and then they put me back down. That's not fun at all. Not at all. Not even close. Okay. Then you also have the thing, which are smurfing, where you have a player who's probably top 50 champion, decides to make a new account, and is probably going to dominate through all of probably up to diamond and even into crimson, right? And all of these players that are hard stuck in these ranks are going to get abused by these players. So there's two problems right there on why the ranked play system is already broken. It doesn't work, okay? Now, in principle, having these different tiers is fantastic because you look at it like this. What do most professional sports have? They have, they have your little league, they have your high school, they have your college, and then they have your professional. And then in some cases they'll have G League, right? Or AAA, AA, and then your minor leagues, and then you have your professional. So this is what this would be. They already have the blueprint for it. They just need to figure out how to implement it, and that's what I'm going to tell y'all how to do. So then we go on to, I believe this is Fortnite. So again, the same principle. You have Bronze 1, Bronze 2, Bronze 3, right? Maybe I dominate Bronze 1s, 2s. I get to Bronze 3. I have a good game. They put me up to Silver 1. I'm not good for Silver 1. Then I get beat up for Silver 1, and I go back and forth until eventually I get fucking better, right? So here's my proposal, okay? You have a ranked season, okay? Especially for games such as Call of Duty and Fortnite. And I'm going to give you an example. You have 10 placement matches, okay? You will play those 10 placement matches. So for instance, Call of Duty changes every year, right? It has a new game every year. Fortnite doesn't necessarily do that, but I'll get into the example for that. So Call of Duty will then go into everybody's at zero. They will then play their 10 placement matches, depending on how many matches they win, depending on how many points they earn for each category, right? You get points for kills, eliminations, objectives, all that type of stuff, assists. And then when you're done and the dust settles after your 10 matches, all those points add up. So it's not like you get a percentage of rank. It's a hard fact. You get 10 points for a win, 5 points for a kill, 5 points for an objective, and it adds up. So at the end of the match, let's say you did that, you get 20 points. Then, obviously add on. At the end of the 10 matches, you'll accumulate all your points, and then it will place you into, obviously, we would have to cut this down, but it would be a bracket, right? So if you have over 100 points, that would be a certain level. If you have over 200 points, that'd be a different level. Over 300, so on and so forth. And then once you placed into those, you would be in that same tier for for 4 months, 3 months. We'll do 3 months because you have 4 seasons of 3 months. Yeah, 3 months because it'd be 2 months of just playing and earning points, and then at the end of it, the last month would be a tournament, a playoff tournament, right? So as a new player, you would play your 10 placement matches, and if let's say you've never played ranked before, you would obviously, unfortunately, be capped out, right? Because as a new player jumping into ranked, we don't want you to be, in some of these higher ranks because you're not going to be able to compete. So you would be capped out at a certain level because let's be real, you're probably not going to get a lot of points. Now let's talk about this. Let's say you did play because every Call of Duty in the past couple years has had a ranked play. Let's say last year you ended, let's say your last ranked play, you ended diamond. You would play in your 10 placement matches other diamond players. And then if you're better than them, you would be in higher tier. If you're worse than them, you'd obviously either be in the same or worse than them. That's how it'll work. Every season, you would then play those players that you ended the rank in. So if you ended in top 50, to stay in that rank, you would play top 50 players, right? So 3 months end, next 10 placement matches, you would play against top 50 players. Okay? That's how it would work. Now you guys are wondering, okay, well what about the playoffs? Okay, so this is what would happen. Because this is a public game, right? We're not, even though ranked is competitive, it's not the professional league, right? The ranked play is a more competitive version of a casual game. So for instance, we talk about, hey, I want to go play basketball at my local gym. Cool, but hey, there's a rec league that I can go play. That's the more competitive version of a casual game, right? You're still going to have casual players that are good enough to play a more competitive version of the game, but you know what I mean? Like it's not like that difficult to figure out, right? So this is how this would work. You would have all these players playing in their rank. So Diamond, Crimson, Iridescent would play against each other for 2 months. They would then earn points for everything they did, and it would just stack up, allowing at certain points. So for instance, let's say you're a really good iridescent player, but don't get to play a lot. You still have the opportunity to catch up on points because of the way you play. If you're a better iridescent player and you can get points even with the limited time you play, you can still challenge the other players that play more. But if you do play more, you still get you're gonna benefit still. Okay, so it goes both ways, right? If you play little, you still have the opportunity to make up the points by just dominating the matches you play, if you're that good. And if you play a lot, and maybe you're not the best iridescent player, but you're still good, you will get more points over time. Excuse me, over time by just playing the game more. So it balances out for someone who plays a lot versus someone who doesn't play a lot. Because right now, if you don't play a lot, you're going to be behind. You're going to lose SR and you're going to drop down. That's not realistic because that's not actual skill level, right? Because what's going to happen is I'm not going to play for a month or two. I'm in platinum. I'm going to come back. They're going to throw me in a gold lobby. I'm going to dominate the gold lobby. Then they're going to jump me up thinking I'm a diamond player. You see how that works? That's not how that shouldn't work that way. So if I'm an iridescent player, I will play my 2 months. I will earn my points. At the end of the 2 months the third month will be a full month of tournaments. The reason why it's a month is because you need everybody to be able to play, right? Because not everybody can play every day. So with that being said, let's say each weekend is a tournament, right? You'll take the top 1,000 people or the top 2,000 people that have the most score, right? And they will play in a playoff tournament right? And then they will earn points in that playoff tournament. That way it can still be random. Let's say you could do solos, you could do duos. You obviously no trios, that'd be awkward. Duos, so it'd be solos, duos, and a four man, right? And then you will earn points, and the more points you earn playing that match, right, incentivizing you to not only get the win for your team in those playoff games, but also to do more stuff in the match, right? That way you also avoid, here's the big problem that everybody talks about, is getting boosted or getting carried, right? Nobody likes those players. So this avoids that too, because you may be getting boosted or getting carried by people, but if you don't attribute or contribute to the game by getting kills, assists, objectives, well then you're not going to get enough points to stay together, right? So, each weekend you'll drop by whatever. Like, let's say you start at 2,000, then the next weekend drops to 1,000, then the next weekend drops to 500, and then, blah, blah, blah. And then obviously you would get to the point, however they would do it, you would get to the point, maybe you could do more. Maybe you would do each day of the weekend would be 2,000 to 500, and then you get all the way down. But then at the end of it, you would have your last two teams, right? Because obviously it's a 4v4, right? 4v4. And you would do a 4v4 last series tournament or game match, whatever you want to call it. The best series to 7, and then the team to win, and then they rank those 8 players based off of the score. Then that would give you you would do a different thing. You would do a champion who had the best score, then you would do your top 8, and then of course you would do your top 250. Okay, that way it would say, hey, these are the 8 best players that season that got to the finals. Because remember, you have to go through a playoff bracket, so that is very high. Allowing a more connective environment with the community. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea I don't know who's top 50. I don't know who's champion. I don't know who's iridescent. Obviously, I don't play Call of Duty anymore because I stopped playing in December. But, if I'm Diamond, I don't know how good I am against other Diamond players. I only get to play that match. And, yeah, I may win. I may lose. But I want to know, am I playing a player that is playing a lot and getting a lot of points? Am I playing someone that is just happen to be really good a couple matches that just accumulate a bunch of points and then, you know what I'm saying? But then the main thing to this is it allows anybody to hop on and play the same energy. Let's say I have to do something for a week and I don't get to play the game. When I come back, I get to play the same skill level. Now, of course, if I decide to go play ranked and I don't warm up or practice or do anything, that's on me as the player. I should be trying to get warmed up or whatever. But at the end of the day, you at least get to come back to the same rank. And you get to finish your progress or continue your progress to go towards a tournament. Winning the tournament is a bragging right. Having champion, I'm champion. Get shit on. I don't care. I don't care if you're champion. It doesn't do anything for me. You know why? Because I'm never going to see him. Never going to play him. Right? Whereas if I end up in a regular public match and I see a champion or, one of the top 8, that would be like, all right, cool. Well, now with skill-based matchmaking being in public matches, I'm never going to see that player anyways. But you see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. They need to copy professional sports, right? Because if you went to your local park and saw LeBron James, you would be like, what the heck? You wouldn't be like, oh, why am I playing this sweat? You wouldn't care because you know who LeBron James is, but you don't know who the top 50 is. You don't know who the champion is. So who cares? You just be like, oh, this guy's a really big sweat, right? So that's how I would fix freaking rank play. I'm sorry I made this. I don't even know how long this video is, but I hope you guys understand. I hope I made sense with that. I really want you guys to understand where I'm coming from because we keep talking about ranked play and how they should update the game, nerf this, do that, blah, this, blah. But at the end of the day, the ranked play is flawed. It needs to be based off of a season, allowing players to play the same skill level, which is what is intended from what everybody's talking about. That's what they want to do is play the same skill level. With skill-based matchmaking and ranked play, you do not play the same skill level. They bump you up consistently or bump you down consistently based off of your one game performance. And that is not realistic. That is not realistic, and that's not what y'all want. So let's go ahead and have you play 10 placement matches, then get placed into a rank, then you play the same rank for 10 months or 2 months, then you'll play a playoff month and become either the top 8 or the top, champion of that season, of that rank. That's how that would be. Okay? So you guys let me know in the comments below what y'all think. Hopefully y'all understand it. If you guys have any more questions on or maybe you guys have some ideas on how you would do it, leave them in the comments below. Let me know what y'all think. All right, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.